Hello, and welcome to another Experts on Wellness and Self Care. I'm Sherry Danzig, and today we have a fabulous guest today, Martha Alexander, and she's going to share her expertise in wellness and self care. And I love doing this. I love being able to put a light on others that can bring their genius, their insights to all of you so that you can continue learning and continue choosing to live a vibrant life. So, with that, Martha, please start with telling us a little bit about what do you know about self care? Why do you think it's important? And
Yeah, thanks, Sherry. And thank you so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it and I love sharing. So, self-care for me um, began with a healing journey to really look at what the emotional baggage that held me back and the any negative energy I had that was holding me back, mindsets, all of that stuff, right? And helping myself or finding someone to help me, right? Remove that stuff. And one of the things that allows you to do, and the thing that I have found to be the biggest self-care is to listen to the whispers, right? For
Mhm,
me, it's listening to the whispers of my soul, listening to the whispers of my body and
mhm,
my mind, right? So
mhm,
asking when you have a pain, and it may sound odd, but asking my body, what is that telling me?
mhm,
What is that pain? What is that ache? What is that? What are you trying to communicate with me? Right.
mhm,
And if you sit in quiet, right? And
mhm,
I know sometimes the mind goes, just let those thoughts that are in your mind drift away like clouds. They're just thoughts. It's you don't have to start over. They're gonna drift, and that's okay. But within that, right? It's not the shouting, it's not the negative things that you hear that, sometimes I used to hear my mom or my stepmom on my shoulder yelling at me, or
mhm,
whatever it is, right, that's
mhm,
on your
mhm.
shoulder yelling at you.
Right.
Not the voice. The voice comes in a whisper.
Mhm,
And let me tell you, the first whisper I heard, so you guys kind of get the picture of it. I had been asking my mind, body, and my soul, what do you need? What can I do to bring us more in alignment so that we're living our purpose and happy and flowing and healthy, and what do you need, right? What do I need? And I was in the kitchen on a Monday morning. And your Monday morning coffee is pretty dang important to you. I don't know why it's more important than Sunday morning's coffee, but Monday
But
morning's
it
coffee
is.
is way more important than
Yeah.
any other day. And I'm making my Monday morning coffee, and there's no one in the kitchen, right? And there's nobody else there but me. And I slam my hands down on the counter and I go, no, I will not give up my caffeine. And I went, what? Who am I talking to? Right? Who am
Ah,
I talking to? And the next day I was talking to someone and they said, so your angels and your guides have a message for you that tried to come through yesterday. And I said,
mhm,
oh. She said, they want you to give up something. And I said, and again, I will mention that I respectfully decline that. The next day I went to make my coffee and I realized as it was brewing that I'd picked decaf.
ah,
And that was it for it, right?
mhm,
But that
mhm,
first morning of that whisper, right? My conscious mind didn't even realize it was there. I didn't cognitively get that
mhm,
my
mhm,
mind hadn't absorbed it. It was until I pounded on the table and said no.
mhm.
So sometimes it's really quiet, really
I
quiet.
like that you're saying that. I think that's a great distinction. I've never thought of it. I think it takes practice to really listen within, and
It
I've never thought of it as a whisper. I think that's a good distinction because it's information that's not coming from your head. It
mm,
feels for me like it's coming up either from my tummy or my heart. It feels deep.
it's deep. It is deeper and it is a
Yeah.
whisper.
And it's a simple message. It's not a whole lot of explanation. It's simply a knowing. It's
Yeah.
this inner knowing.
It's just inner knowing. And
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes I have to say I doubt that inner knowing, right? Somebody you got to really got
Mhm.
to learn to
Oh, yeah.
trust that and
Oh,
trust
yeah.
yourself, which is part of getting rid of all the old
Mhm,
programming stuff, right?
mhm, mhm.
But one way you can do that is muscle testing.
Okay.
Um, and I muscle testing is one of my favorite things to do. Um, some people find it very easy. It's a practice, right? It took me, now I can do it in a, I can say yes or no very quickly. And
Mhm.
I do it. I put my first finger on my middle finger like that,
Okay.
and I press down.
Okay.
And if I can press it all the way down, the answer is a no. If I keep it firm, the answer is a yes. So if I say love, I can keep it. If I say hate, I can't hold that up no matter how hard I try.
Hmm. Okay.
So there's that one. There's this one, which yes
Mhm. That one
is
I know, right.
no, it goes. There's their body moving forward or body moving back. And you really just have to work with your body and ask it questions
Mhm, mhm.
and learn those answers. However you do. There's also the one, do you do this one where it's you rub
Mm-mm,
your
mm-mm.
thumb with your a finger? It can be, I use two fingers just because,
Okay.
but yes, it's easy. No, it's jerky. It's harder to do it. There's a difference in the feeling of
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Um, and
Interesting.
so sometimes I double check, right? Was this the message?
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
or I use my pendulum, but that's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. I mean, I think the big thing that I've learned is to pay attention when I feel, anxious or something, but it feels I notice it in my body. There's a
Yes.
tightness, right? We know that. We feel like a tightness in our gut or our chest or wherever we feel it, and the secret there or the trick there is to stop and ask exactly what you said. What is that? Where's that coming
What is
from?
this? Yeah. What's
It
this?
doesn't matter what words you use. It only
Doesn't.
matters that you find that communication with that inner knowing and really listen in and pay attention.
And it's paying attention to the whisper, right? It really is sitting quiet and allowing, and some people do it by journaling, right?
Mhm,
If they get a
mhm.
pen and a piece of paper,
Yeah,
that they just start writing,
yeah.
it
See what
write
comes up,
that
right,
that unconscious thought, right? You're just journaling whatever
right,
comes up, whatever words are in your mind, even if it's I have no idea how to do this, right? Just go from there. Just keep
right.
writing whatever words come in,
Mhm,
and then
mhm,
read it, and the message will be in there.
mhm, mhm.
Just get out of here,
Yeah, yeah,
get out of your mind, um, and
yeah.
listen.
I love all that. And I mean, I asked you before we got on recording to share something practical because I think it's the teacher in me wants to leave something that someone can take away and go, okay, I can do that. And you really have provided that in having this conversation.
So, but I do have a great tip. I do.
Okay,
I
please.
so if you want to listen and you're having a hard time settling your body down, the easiest way to do that is breathing exercises.
Okay.
It's the easiest way. So, and you're breathing in your stomach, not into your lungs. You're not inflating your chest, you're inflating your stomach. So, your
Okay.
stomach's going to get bigger, and that's perfectly okay, right? Put a
Mhm.
pillow over it if you're uncomfortable. But go ahead and breathe in and
Through your
breathe in.
nose? Through your
Nope,
nose.
you're
No,
breathing.
through your mouth.
No, you're right. You're breathing in through your nose and
Okay.
you're breathing
Okay.
out your mouth. Breathing in
Okay.
through your nose and out through your mouth. And I do a count of 8 to do it. So I breathe into 8. So 1, 2, 3. And I can't breathe in and talk at the same time, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I breathe out. It's rhythmic breathing. You're breathing out to the same count. And then you're breathing into the same count and out to the same count. And just
Okay.
keep doing that. And eventually, if you're anxious or if you're in a panic attack, whatever, that brings you into your body and into a space where you can access the whispers. That's where you get the whisper
Mhm, mhm.
is when you've done that.
Yeah, and that makes sense because we store truth, we store information in our bodies,
Yes.
in our cells, and our minds, we have to shift that focus into our body and not in our mind, because our minds are so clever. They're so smart and so clever, and that's a good thing, and it's not a good thing when you're wanting to access the truth, that inner knowing, because we put all this other
Absolutely.
filters and
Yeah,
fear and memories and things that just, or they muddle the waters of what are we really feeling, that true emotion. Would you
totally.
say? Yeah.
And we're taught by society that our mind is what's important, right? Our mind focuses our society focuses on what our mind does. It doesn't focus on our emotion, right? So when I was a kid, I blame it on being from Iowa. I know it's not true, but right, I wasn't taught what an emotion that how to deal with an emotion or how to identify an emotion. I was just taught to get rid of it. Otherwise, I was Sarah Bernhardt,
Yeah.
which is back in the day. And some people might not know who that is. She was a very dramatic silent actress.
Mhm,
Uh,
mhm,
so um, really get into that state where you can access your emotions and identify them.
mhm, mhm.
I love
Well,
that.
so much of it, I think, comes from being taught as a child, and I think particularly with women, we were taught to not speak our emotions, that you're gonna get people somebody if somebody was nervous about their emotions as an adult around you as a child, they're gonna put that on you, and they were nervous that women were gonna get hysterical, I mean,
Yeah,
there's some history around all that,
there
right?
is history around that. Yeah.
So, I love that hysterical hysterectomy. Yeah, so the connection of being a young girl to being a woman and not being trusting, comfortable showing emotion, and not trusting our emotions, and that's where our power is. That's where our truth is, that's where our power is. I always I mean, one of the things I ask myself and I ask clients is, "How do you want to feel? How do you wanna choose to
Mhm.
feel for today or about a particular event that's coming up?" Like if
Yeah,
you're
I
if
love
you're
that.
having anxiety about like speaking, how do you want to feel when you're speaking and at the end of that talk? And if you can think about that and be intentional about it, then you're accessing those emotions. You're likely to experience that.
Yeah, you get well, so the
You get
universe
what
doesn't choose between good or bad, right? A bad emotion or a good emotion. It just understands that what you're thinking about and gives you that. So, I guess that's tip number 2. Only put
yeah,
out there what you want.
yeah, yeah. Outstanding. Thank you so much. So in the notes, I'll have details of how you can connect with Martha. Martha has lots of genius and skills and really connecting with your inner being and how to listen in and create a magnificent life, which is all what we're all about here with choosing vibrancy. So thank you so much, Martha, for giving us some time,
Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate it.
and happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's
It
Day.
happens to be Valentine's Day today.
That's
Hence the pink scarf, right?
yes.